Hi, you're with India Post Live, India's first online news conversation web TV. I'm Ishan Russell, and India Post Live is, of course, a forum for you to come in and participate. Use social media to participate in this show or any other show that you want to come in and participate on. On Twitter, you can hashtag India Post Live to your tweets or use our Twitter handle at India Post Live. On Facebook, we have a Facebook page called India Post Live. Go ahead, like it, post comments, videos, pictures, anything you want over there. And also, you can go to indiapostlive.com where you can watch this live right now as we are streaming, or in case you're watching this later or any other video, there are so many other videos for you to check out as well. So go ahead, check those out, comment on the wall that we've given, and in case you want to be the expert, participate in a discussion, well, just send us a request and we'll for sure get your voice heard via Skype or Google Hangout. All right, what we're talking about today is India's Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, and why we're talking about him today, because many are now saying, and social media certainly is a buzz, that he's gone into silent mode. What is silent mode? Well, many are saying that on many contentious issues that face his new government, the Prime Minister has been curiously silent. And we'll be talking about that with Shehzad Poonawala. He's an activist and member of the Congress Party, a noted lawyer as well. But Dr. Ejaz Ilmi is with us. He is, of course, a seasoned politician with the BJP, a member of that. And we'll be joined by the co-convener of the IT cell of the BJP, Sanjeev Singh from Lucknow, and also by Darshan Desai from Ahmedabad. He's the senior assistant editor of the Mail Today. That's the newspaper. So, but I'll start with you, Shehzad. Maun Modi, I mean, it used to be Maun Mohan Singh. I mean, now suddenly Maun Modi is trending on Twitter and social media.
See, when people of India elected allegedly a person with a 56-inch chest, at least going by the pre-election rhetoric, they felt that there would be a booming voice to accompany that 56-inch chest. Today we find that on dozens of major issues, there's not even a squeamish whimper. But let me just highlight 3 or 4 important issues. On foreign policy, they used to allege that Manmohan Singh is a weak prime minister. You have soldiers being killed across the LOC, Chinese intrusions, they're not showing Arunachal Pradesh as part of India's map. And you have 39 or 40 Iraqi Indians.
Yeah, in fact, on your screen, there are some of the controversies that he has not spoken up about.
So let me just sum them up. 40 Indians who are still trapped in Iraq, yet Mr. Modi doesn't choose to speak, remains eloquently silent. Then you have tomatoes reaching 100 rupees a kilo. Price rise was his main issue, doesn't speak about it. He said very bravely that zero tolerance on women's atrocities, yet he has a minister accused of rape in his cabinet, doesn't speak about it. But let me highlight the most important issue, and that is that ever since Modi came to power, there has been an unleashing of right-wing forces. You saw the killing of the boy in Pune, Muslim boy in Pune. Today's Indian Express story quotes about how there have been over 600 incidents of communal violence where BJP's played a role, especially around those areas which are going to go for bypolls. You saw the force feeding of the Shiv Sena MPs of a Muslim man. You've seen Togadia and Ashok Singhal make their rhetoric about minorities. Now, this is a Prime Minister who said he won't wear the Muslim topi. Fair enough, he wore everybody else's topi. But he said he will not allow the Muslim topi or any minorities to be, feeling unsafe in this country. What happens because of his silence is one of the two. Either the right-wing forces, which he unleashed, feel that his silence is his approval, and in their triumphalism, they feel that they are getting a go-ahead from the highest office of the country. And those who distrust him, people like me, feel that his silence is complicity. So what is his silence? Is it approval for what is happening to the minorities, or is it complicity? That's something that the BJP should answer.
And Dr. Ilmi?
Well, I think you've been rather economical with the truth and suffering from selective amnesia. During the election campaign and its accompaniment, the noise and everything else that happens during the election time, Mr. Narendra Modi, he walked the talk. And now in governance, it's time to work the talk. It's better to work, show your credentials, and your actions must speak louder than the voice in the studios. That is something very, very important. Secondly, most of your allegations that you're making, I mean, you are looking at from a narrow prism of Hindu, Muslim, or gender issues. You got to think of the entire issue as Indian. If any Indian is killed or raped, or whatever happens, it's an Indian citizen after all. But your distrust is implicit in the fact that you don't want to trust Mr. Modi. He doesn't need your trust.
But
he doesn't need your trust. He is the Prime Minister of 125 crore Indians, and his job is to provide equal opportunity, equal access to everybody.
The first thing that he said, and I want to put that to Sanjeev Singh also from the BJP, the first thing he said was, I'll use social media to get in touch with all of you. And on these critical issues, on these key issues, he remains curiously silent. Why is that so? I mean, he was tweeting about everything during the election. You were encouraging that from him.
See, there is a difference between communication while on an election campaign and communication of the Prime Minister while he is working, and working he is working 15 to 18 hours a day. A lot of things have actually started taking shape. If you want, I can recount so many, subtle changes which have happened, decisions which Congress, Shahjad Bhai is not going to like that, Congress didn't even bother to, act upon. Congress has always been very vociferous on representing Aam Aadmi, being the voice of Aam Aadmi. Unfortunately, they have never acted on
Sanjeev, but
promises
I am not talking about the key political issues. I am talking about humanitarian issues that have come to the fore in India, be it the murder in Pune or be it the abduction of Indians in Iraq. Mr. Modi has been curiously silent.
Pune is not the only incident. There are a lot of incidences which are happening, and appropriate people are responding from the government side, from party side, wherever the issue, whichever level that issue needs to be responded to, that is being responded by. And talking about the Prime Minister is very active on Twitter even now. So whatever things which are being handled upon, which are being thought of, which are being done, each and every of those issues, there is a clear communication from Prime Minister's side on PMO India Twitter handle. So
an issue like price rise. I mean, tomatoes reaching 100 rupees a kilogram is certainly an alarming issue. Before the elections, the Prime Minister certainly was tweeting a lot about price rise and the ineptness of the UPA government, but hasn't made a statement since on price rise. So I'm just curious about that.
See, tomato is not the only issue. See, there are a lot of other food items where the prices have gone down. Since, Shahjad Bhai will not like to talk about those vegetables, so he's talking about tomatoes.
Those are. Sanjeev Bhai, can you tell me which vegetables those are?
Tell me. Shahjad Bhai, almost every other vegetable, if you look at it, onions are there, potatoes are there,
onion prices have gone down.
Fruits are there. There is a marked decline over UPA prices, and you have to consider, you have to keep.
Don't say global factors because that doesn't go to
we faced a lot of drought-like condition. It is now that the rain gods have smiled. So a temporary crisis could have emanated because of that drought-like condition, and also.
Fair enough. So the explanation is there. That's the problem, Sanjeev. You're justifying it. The Prime Minister isn't.
This debate is larger than the
Prime Minister is not supposed to justify each and everything. There is a council of ministers. There is the party which is there. They are responding to each and every of these issues.
The fact that the government has taken steps on the APMC Act, on hoarders, given a message to wholesalers, it's an enabling mechanism that you create to control the demand and market supply of a situation of any given item used by Indians. And that is the message that on a large platform you get in corrective measures, enabling mechanism to control the prices. And the government is committed to it. You have never seen such a proactive government going after the hoarders and trying to control the wholesale prices.
Actually,
there's a lag effect, there's a trickle effect, but the government is working on it day in and day out.
No, but why are you politically defensive about it? I mean,
I'm not defensive. You're saying that the Prime Minister is silent. I think his work is speaking very, very loudly, and the silence is mainly in the studios because there's no real debate left because people are busy working 18 hours a day.
All right, but Shahzad has a contention over there.
I think that the silence of Modi is so deafening that you need two speakers, very able speakers, to overcompensate for it on this show. Let me first.
So that's not the reason. I mean, we're supposed to get more people.
I think you should have the patience to listen.
Absolutely.
At least that quality is being exhibited by Mr. Modi. I think you should emulate it. So what I would like to say is that Sanjeev is showing a complete lack of touch with basic realities when he says the prices of other vegetables have gone down. I think he should have only opened up the papers and seen R.K. Lakshman's common man drawing. if he doesn't go to buy vegetables himself. As far as Ijaz Ilmi is concerned, he's spoken about something which is even far worse. He says that he does not require the trust and confidence of a person like me. This is precisely what is being exhibited. No, 1 second, Ijaz. Again, you will not interrupt.
No,
you will not interrupt.
You're quoting me.
Ijaz,
You're quoting me.
Ijaz, you
I
should.
said-
I think
Let's just hear what he said.
I think this is unfair. I think he should continue the debate by himself.
Yes.
Now continue.
Ijaz, you are showing exactly the kind of tendencies that your party is known for. Not allowing others to speak and thinking your noise is equal to communication. It's not. Your very statement that you do not want to take person like me or people like me into confidence shows your arrogance. You have been voted in only by 30% of this country. 1 second, Ijaz, you will not interrupt me. I think I'll pass off the debate. No. I will.
I said
Ishan, this can't continue. This can't continue. I have to put in my statement.
One by one.
I have to complete my statement.
Okay.
You have to allow me to complete my statement.
Let me just complete my
You
statement
can't
and then you
There are
can-
two
misquote me
BJP
at the
people.
same time. You
There are
can't
two
quote me, misquote me at the same
Ishan,
time.
I
It
think
doesn't
this debate-
matter, Ishara, you're good enough to take on
Don't
two
do
BJP
correctly.
people,
But I have to be.
misquote me.
No.
Alright,
this
let
is-
him complete. Let him complete.
First of all, Ijaz, it must be remembered by you that the BJP's vote percentage has been 30%. There are other people sitting here, they will confirm that. 70% haven't voted for you. When you make an arrogant statement saying that we don't want your confidence, we don't want your
I didn't
trust,
say that.
you did say it and you would want to
I didn't
highlight.
say that.
When you say something like that, it only reflects
Alright.
the same arrogance that perhaps has dawned into Modi's mind, thinking that he can remain quiet on issues that are actually translating into action against a large section of this people. He can have time to tweet about
Alright.
football. Are you telling me that Sanjeev from the BJP's convener cell is telling me that it is okay for a prime minister to tweet about FIFA, which is happening in Brazil, but not tweet about citizens of his own country who are dying or who are captured in Iraq? Is this the kind of arrogance that has only 2 months and it has percolated into the minds of the BJP?
Alright, so whether this is
This
arrogant-
silence, I felt it was only incompetence, but now I'm sure it is arrogance and it is
Alright, I'll let you
demonstrated
respond.
here.
I'll let you respond,
There
Ijaz.
is no design. And
I want to get in Sanjeev Singh. I just want-
I want to say one thing. Quote me where I said implicitly, if you have mistrust as a political party in the BJP and its leadership, that's understandable. So, I mean, I can't do that. I don't need your trust. You're an opposition party. You're not supposed to trust the BJP. That's what I said, not as an individual, please.
Alright, fair enough. Sanjeev Singh, our consulting editor, also joins in. Sanjeev, what I've often heard in the journalistic circles also now, that they've also been completely excluded. So while the Prime Minister might not be making statements on social media as he promised, on key issues he's not even talking to the press. And this kind of silence is bound to backfire sooner than later.
Yeah, I mean, the way the current dispensation is going, they make Maun Singh sound like a loudmouth because, there's absolutely no communication coming from the Prime Minister's office. Apart from clubbing ministries together, what different has this government done from the previous UPA governments? There seems to be nothing. In fact, all the ministers are being told that you cannot talk to journalists at all. So there is this sort of a, what do you say, an implicit sort of
Gag order.
emergency as far as, giving out news is concerned. And, I was just going through the tweets of Narendra Modi during the election campaign, and you have everything, right, from railway fares being hiked to black money to soldiers being beheaded and the works. So he was talking about everything. And when the Badaयूं case happened, there was a lot of expectation from a prime minister to at least say something to the people, to send that message out loud and clear. But that message has not been coming. So I won't, I would just go to say that there were a lot of expectations from Narendra Modi, and the way he had, just carried out the whole campaign, one expected a lot more from him rather than this deafening silence, as Shehzad had said.
Alright, the expectation is a lot more. See, you promised a difference, you promised a change that was markedly different from what was there earlier. And that, I mean, people's expectations are what is creating this kind of buzz on Twitter.
Well, the fact is that there's a lot of change that is happening as we speak. The government is working. But the change that you are talking about is his access to the media or talking to the media. Well, he's taken a stance that he will allow his work to do the talking, and we must respect that.
But that is what Manmohan Singh was also saying all along, that I have been working for the past 10 years. And
The media was a buzz. You know why? Because right now we have a cogent, cohesive government and a party working in sync. At that time, the intra-party shenanigans of various ministers being at loggerheads was the biggest news of the UPA. So that's why there's a lot of news, buzz, and loud voices
so
emanating.
I'll come back.
Right now, there's much more cohesiveness, and people are busy working, and the instructions has to actually work from 9 to 9 in the evening.
All right, but I want to know about the gag order, Sanjeev. I mean, in the journalistic circles over here, certainly in Delhi, and that is what Sanjeev was also alluding to, or not even alluding to, clearly saying that I mean, journalists, ministers have been issued orders not to talk to journalists, not to talk to anybody. I mean, your ministers are really scared. I mean, that's the sense that I get from covering the BJP for a long time, and I know that a lot of people aren't just willing to talk to the media anymore, or even talk or communicate on their own about even good programs they have, because anything could backfire. Is that fear of Narendra Modi in the BJP also and the cabinet?
I mean, I totally
Okay, wasn't
No, Sanjeev, I'm asking Sanjeev from Lucknow. I'll just come back to you. Yeah.
advice from the Prime Minister's office to every ministry to utilize social media for communicating the work which is being done by their ministry, and almost every minister has started doing that, and they are doing it very effectively. See, one more thing which I would like to say, Sajad Bhai, firstly, you are so competent that it's a compliment that there are two BJP people to counter your allegations or your these things. Anyway, coming back to Modi ji's earlier track record, while as the Chief Minister of Gujarat also, he has not been, communicating. He is more of a action-oriented person who, while on a job, on a government responsibility, likes to let his actions speak rather than, matching the election day communication which he was, their pre-elections. So now a lot of activities are happening. Shahjad Bhai, if I may draw your attention to, a lot of middle class people do their railway reservation. And 10 o'clock when the Tatkal thing used to happen, somebody could have tried logging in 11:30, 12. By the time he was able to just log in to that IRCTC website, all the seats were full. Now, just for the sake of experiencing it, just try logging in at 10 o'clock on IRCTC website. You will be able to not only log in, you will be able to get the tickets booked and come out of that site in 5 to 7 minutes time. That is an action which makes life easy for an average middle class Indian. Similarly, we are known for a participative form of government. MyGov initiative, which the PM has done, we are clearly highlighting certain problem areas and inviting suggestions from citizens, and we are receiving a lot of good suggestions also. So that is the participative form of governance. So now we are in governance. So our communication is more on the lines of intimating people what we are doing and also eliciting their feedback and suggestions.
Fair enough. That is what you might be doing as the BJP's IT cell. But I have Narendra Modi's tweets over as the Prime Minister, and he's tweeting about, and it's good that he's tweeting about MH17 and the loss of lives over there. But there have been loss of lives in India. I mean, I have not seen a condolence message since, and I can count instances from UP and Saharanpur to various other instances that have happened where human life has been lost in silence.
Well, the ministers of the government, whether it's Rajnath Singh, who when he was president, he has spoken about this. Mr. Prakash Javadekar in Parliament has spoken about various issues. The entire lunatic brigade that you so fondly call have been counteracted and have been verbally countered by ministers in the government and BJP senior leaders.
Shahzad.
See, this is a clear case of double standards now. Wasn't ministers of Manmohan Singh's government not speaking to everybody on every issue? But then they demanded only Manmohan Singh should speak. Now it is the specious difference that is being made by Sanjeev from Lucknow is that political communication during elections is different and government communication becomes work once you come to power. But he must be reminded that for good or for bad, Narendra Modi is also the political leader of this country and the country looks to him for direction on issues. When there is an issue of social importance, when there is an issue of economic importance, the country doesn't want just action, it also wants leadership And leadership is demonstrated by communication, not by the lack of it. If you can feel sympathy for the loss of lives in Malaysia, I'm sure you would have an opinion on the loss of lives in India. And I don't think it is unreasonable for anybody to expect the Prime Minister and the leader of the country to speak on those issues. And thirdly, I must say that Ijaz pointed out about how there's lack of cohesion within the Congress party, and there was great cohesion within his party. I think he forgets the Sunday Guardian report, which speaks about the snooping scandal. NewsX did the entire issue on snooping scandal of Mr. Gadkari. In fact, the news is, and you can confirm this, is that the lists of people who visit ministers is scanned by PMO. PMO doesn't allow ministers to have their own private secretaries. So it's also a great element of distrust. And again, once again, curiously, Mr. Modi chooses to keep silent. So I would kind of say that his argument that it's a very cohesive unit and etc. Doesn't really.
All right, without letting it get rhetorical now, Sanjeev Singh from Delhi, Sanjeev Singh, I'll come to you. Sanjeev, but the point is, where does it go from here? I mean, this could really snowball into a much bigger issue if not tackled right now. I mean, that is how it started with Dr. Manmohan Singh also. Initially, Manmohan Singh was funny, but then it became so, it became so etched in the minds of Indians that it cost him the election.
It's a vicious cycle. And BJP is the one who actually started this whole thing. And we saw, right in the run-up to the election campaign, the way BJP had been very vociferous about, the Congress not actually speaking out, not doing things. Manmohan Singh doesn't talk, he doesn't have any powers. So the kind of, bitter campaign that we saw. After that, expecting Narendra Modi to be so quiet is actually, very surprising. I agree with Dr. Elmi when he says that, that this government is actually trying to work and get the figures going. That's because they're under a lot of pressure. So far we have not seen them do anything different from the UPA. They've got a 100-day agenda and they want to show something. Maybe perhaps that would be something when the figures start tumbling out in favor of the NDA. But so far it looks like somewhere down the line the Prime Minister seems to be caught up with so many things at one point of time that he really has no time to take care of his actual core constituency, the people, the fans on the social media who actually been supporting him. So, and in some jest, as Dr. Elmi said, that it's a very cohesive government. Of course it is, because there's only one guy who's running the government. The rest are just lieutenants who are following the orders.
All right, Sanjeev Singh from BJP, you might disagree with that, and I would come back to both of you. But a final word to you, Sanjeev. Just from the social media perspective, you've also seen this happen, but many of your supporters during the election campaign have become a little impatient, and that's coming through on social media. As an observer of social media, as somebody who runs the BJP's communication campaigns on the internet and social media, you do know that things have started happening that are not so likable. Is the BJP actively looking at countering this?
Firstly, it's only 10 days. 15th August is coming, and you will get to know a lot of things from the Prime Minister himself. So that complaint about his not being communicative is going to go away. He's going to unleash a lot of things. He's going to communicate about various initiatives which our government is working on. So people will be pleasantly surprised. So don't bother about it. Secondly, about the social media thing. What is happening is a lot of people in the mainstream media and also otherwise have started, feeling a somewhat of vacuum kind of a thing. Like there was a lot of communication earlier, no communication now. Slowly, it is only 60 days now. You cannot expect us to undo what Congress did in 60 years in just 60 days. We have been given mandate for 60 months. So do not worry. A lot of things are happening. And, it's not only that. Right. Social media, our people are understanding of this. There is a slight, impatience which is there, because they also at times, there was so high expectation which was there of this government. And rest assured, do not do a short-term assessment, a 60-day assessment. We are there for 60 months, and I'm pretty sure, on 15 August, a lot of doubters will be, responded to by the Prime Minister himself.
All right. Thanks so much, Sanjeev, for coming in and sharing your perspective. Final words to you, Dr. Ilmi. I mean, the point is that Sanjeev is saying it will all change from the 15th of August, but the fact is that the Prime Minister is a really strong force. I mean, he's not the Manmohan Singh that you all criticized earlier.
It is definitely, he's the man of the moment.
So, can we expect more from him?
This election was about Mr. Modi, about him becoming Prime Minister and ushering in his kind of work in the next 60 months. What my friend Sanjeev, your consulting editor, spoke about cohesiveness, he has been given the mandate to lead from the front, and he's leading from the front. And yes, there are ministers on the finance side. Mr. Arun Jaitley takes charge, and he's doing his job. Sushma Swaraj is on record to speak about the prisoners who are still there in Iraq. I mean, where's the silence? People concerned with various issues, whether it's external affairs or economy, are saying the right thing at the right time and communicating with the media and the public at large. Secondly, it's very important to understand that he's a man, he's his own man. He will refuse to be led or controlled by a remote control, unlike previous regimes. He has his own ideas and he's trying to implement it. It's going to take time to come out, but there's work in progress, and I assure you that he understands very, very well that if you don't deliver, you're bound to face decimation, like what happened to the UPA. And there's no question of allowing that to happen. The idea is to make large steps, important steps, concrete steps, but without taking any shortcuts.
I hope that Ijaz will give me the patience I gave him. First of all, as far as remote control is concerned, just 3 days ago, we saw the GM crop decision being backtracked after pressure from RSS. So that's your remote control in Nagpur, unelected and unelectable. Secondly, as far as 60 days and 60 months is concerned, Sanjeev's argument is right. Nobody is saying that we demand solutions of 60 months and 60 days. But boss, you need to communicate even if you're there in power for 60 months. If 15th August is your answer to that, even Manmohan Singh was speaking on every 15th August and 26th January. So that's a specious argument. Let me end with a nursery rhyme, because I think that that's what the level of the BJP's intellectual cell could be. You know, there is a nursery rhyme which says, where Johnny refuses to open his mouth to his little papa because he doesn't want papa to figure that he has sugar in his mouth. Basically what it means is that Johnny doesn't want to get caught on his lies, and I think that Mr. Modi is being little Johnny when he keeps his mouth shut.
All right, on that rather strong note from the Congress, Ijaz,
It's rather uncharitable. But
you
the
can
fact
call
is,
it uncharitable, but
it's rather uncharitable. It's uncharitable. He's the Prime Minister. It's all right. You can say things that people say.
I'm drawing an analogy. I think I have the right. If Shiv Sena can draw analogies about fashionable
rings, that's all. Let's just end it over here. In fact, it's not going to end because it's going to continue on social media. Thanks very much, Sanjeev Singh from Lucknow and Sanjeev Singh from Delhi, for both of you for joining us and sharing your perspective. And we look forward to continuing this conversation with our various viewers on Twitter with you, Sanjeev. And thanks very much, Shahzad and Ijaz, for coming in. It was a pleasure to have you, agreeing to disagree as always. But then it was a nice conversation at the end of the day. That is democracy. Everybody's voice gets heard. So make sure your voice also gets heard. Tell us through social media, tweet out to us, use Facebook to get in touch with us, and we'll for sure get your voice heard. So whether Maun Modi is there or whether he's Chupinder Modi, all these things are coming out on Twitter. So what do you think about it? Do you think all that is wrong? Well, tweet out to us, hashtag India Post Live, or use our Twitter handle at India Post Live. Thanks so much for watching.